What is a person?
A person is a unit of physical matter and/or metaphysical complexity that possesses consciousness. A person may also be referred to as an individual, a living being, an individual person, or sometimes a mortal being. The word person can also apply to an abstract concept or deity. A person is a unit of physical matter and/or metaphysical complex that possesses consciousness. A person is a unit of physical matter and/or metaphysical complex that possesses consciousness. A person may be referred to as a personhood, individuality, human being, or other similar terms. A person can also be defined as a living being, or organism, with unique characteristics that distinguishes it from other living beings. One who has subjective awareness, the ability to perceive his/her environment through senses like sight, touch, etc., which gives him/her an identity separate from others who share the same species but not necessarily identical physiology or DNA structure. A person may also be referred to as an individual, a living being, an individual person, a human being, or sometimes a mortal being. A person may also be referred to as an individual, a living being, an individual person, a human being, or sometimes a mortal being. People are made of physical matter and metaphysical complexity. People are conscious and mortal. They're individuals, not humans, who have the ability to think for themselves and make decisions for themselves. The word person refers to those who have lives separate from other living things. It's not just about whether you're human, it's also about your relationship with yourself and others around you. The word person can also apply to an abstract concept or deity. The word person can also apply to an abstract concept or deity. As you know, the word person is used to describe a physical thing, such as an animal or human being. But it's also used in its metaphorical sense, which refers to any entity or thing that possesses particular characteristics. For example, a person who is smart and kind would be considered a good person. A person who has lots of money could be said to be wealthy. His wealth makes him a valuable member of society, or at least helps others. People are made up of physical matter and metaphysical complexity. People are made up of physical matter and metaphysical complexity. People are a combination of body, mind, and spirit. The body is the physical part of you. Your physical appearance, from head to toe, is what we see when we look at you closely. It includes all your facial features such as eyes, nose, and mouth, along with other parts like hair color, so on and so forth, until down to your toes, where they start getting into more sensitive territory like fingernails. The mind is the part of us that thinks about things like mathematics or music while it's not being used in our day-to-day lives either by ourselves or someone else around us, whether that person be another human being or even an animal who might have some similar thoughts running through its mind every now and again when something interesting happens nearby, like maybe someone walking past where there weren't any cars moving along roads nearby beforehand, which could create noise pollution. The brain then uses electricity produced by glucose coming from food ingested over time periods ranging from seconds up until several hours, depending upon how much food intake occurs each day, since this process takes place constantly throughout life experiences occurring throughout childhood onward into adulthood. But don't worry about making mistakes, because there isn't anything wrong with being different than everyone else out there right now. In the end, people can be defined as physical matter and metaphysical complexity. A person is a physical unit of matter and a metaphysical complex of consciousness that possesses self-awareness. People are considered individuals because they are able to think, feel, decide, and make decisions for themselves.
What does a person live for?
To be happy. Happiness is a state of mind, not a destination. Happiness isn't something you achieve, but rather an attitude that you choose to adopt with every decision and action in life. Happiness isn't about material things, it's about how we feel about ourselves and what we do for others. To have a purpose. You have a purpose. You're happy. You have friends. The takeaway message of this article is that you should always be ready to love someone, even if they don't love you back. The takeaway lesson is that if you want something and are willing to do anything for it, then it will eventually happen in your life. The takeaway message of this article is, if you want something bad enough, then it will happen. The lesson for us all is, love yourself first before loving others. I think the takeaway from this blog post should be that life is not perfect and there are still things you need to do in order to find happiness and purpose. However, if you can identify these things, then I think it will help you feel more secure about yourself, because then when something bad happens or someone close dies, then at least now knowing what matters most will give them some peace of mind too.
Life and death for man.
Man is a being of twofold nature. The life of spirit is the life of light. It is not of earth nor of heaven. The life of the body is the life of earth. We are not to worship angels in heaven, but only those who are on earth, God's holy ones, and angels sent out by him. Fasting and prayer eradicate defilement, and when they are eradicated through fasting and prayer, then so also does man become perfect. Man is a being of twofold nature. Man is a being of twofold nature. The body is the outer shell of the soul, but it's not what makes you who you are. The soul is your inner essence, and it's immortal and eternal. Man has a spirit that can never be destroyed. He will live forever in heaven with God. Genesis chapter 2 verse 7. Our spirits live on even after we die on this earth, so when we go to heaven there will be no death for us at all. The life of spirit is the life of light, it is not of earth nor of heaven. The life of spirit is the life of light, it is not of earth nor of heaven. Man's spirit was made to dwell in a body, but this is not his dwelling place. The body dies, but the spirit lives forever, for it cannot die at all. It cannot be destroyed by any creature that lives upon earth or in heaven or under water or in hell. For all these things are subject to death. 1 Cor 15:36. God created man as immortal beings having bodies which they could inhabit during their mortal lives so as to become acquainted with good and evil before they passed away into eternity after death. Gen 1:26-31. In other words, God created us so that we might learn from experience. If we did not experience something, then our minds would remain blank until another opportunity arose for us to learn something new about ourselves through experience once again. The life of the body is the life of earth. The body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. The life of the body is the life of earth. The physical body is not to be despised nor mistreated, but rather used in service to God and man. We are not to worship angels in heaven, but only those who are on earth, God's holy ones, and angels sent out by him. See, angels are messengers of God. They do not need to be worshipped in heaven, because they have no power over us here on earth. But when you see them, you should not bow down before them or offer any kind of worship, whether it's through prayer or anything else like that, because if you do so then your worship will become sinful and out of place. Instead, just recognize that they are messengers sent by God with a message from him. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 verses 1-2. Fasting and prayer eradicate defilements, and when they are eradicated through fasting and prayer, then so also does man become perfect. Fasting and prayer eradicate defilements, and when they are eradicated through fasting and prayer, then so also does man become perfect. Perfection is the goal of human life. A person who has attained perfection is one who has achieved his soul's desire. The life of spirit is the life of light, it is not of earth nor of heaven. The life of the body, on the other hand, is the life that we all know as earth. To understand more about this distinction between these two kinds of lives, let us look at an analogy. Imagine you have a friend who likes to go camping in his car. This means they can leave their home and drive somewhere with no one following them or worrying about them getting lost or hurt. As long as he keeps his cell phone charged and within reach at all times, and doesn't get distracted by chatting with friends, he'll be fine. But if his car breaks down somewhere along their journey, or even worse yet happens after they've already left home, then suddenly your friend has no way out. I have explained how God's angels are sent out to earth to serve as guides, but they can only do so if man does not lose his soul.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like.